Sunday, October 18th, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch.
Today we're talking about the pilot episode, coincidentally entitled Pilot, Part 1. This was the most expensive pilot ever in the history of television. You can see why, because they took apart a plane.
It starts with the open on an eye.
When the casting director was hiring the cast, do you think that they were looking at their eyes knowing, eyes will be a very prevalent part of this show? Hi, I'm auditioning for Lost.
Did you guys see the white shoe when he ran by? Now that I see it, I think of Christian Shepherd, and what does it mean?
The part where Jack pulls out that mini shooter of vodka, I was like, oh, they're establishing Jack's relationship to alcohol very early on in the series.
I love how jarring the transition from when Jack runs out onto the beach, you see pristine beach, and then it pans over, you see all this wreckage.
The first 10 minutes of this pilot are some of the most beautifully shot sequences on television. I mean, just the grandeur and the scope and the scale of this thing is enough to take your breath away. When the guy gets sucked into the jet engine, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for everyone in America literally being sucked into this wonderful show.
Our very first introduction to Michael is him yelling, "Walt!" You don't think about it being annoying when you watch it for the very first time, but now that I've seen the progression of his character, it kind of annoyed me right off the bat.
So there Jack sits on the beach, needing someone to stitch him up, and in walks Kate, and the sparks are palpable from the minute they make eye contact.
Did you notice that when Kate first walks into her first scene, she's rubbing her wrists because she just got her handcuffs off? I wonder how she got them off anyway.
Lucky for Jack, Kate had used a needle before, but what would have happened if he ran into someone who didn't know how to use a needle? Namely me.
Excuse me.
Me?
Did you ever use a needle?
No.
Did you ever patch a pair of jeans?
No, I've never used a needle.
It's fantastic.
No, I don't think you heard me. I've never used a needle.
Could use a little help here.
No. Let me just go get someone who knows how to use a needle.
No, you can do this, I'm telling you.
You can't help but love Hurley. He's one of my favorite characters. And I think that it's funny that even from the very first episode, he's in charge of delegating who gets to eat what. And that continues on as kind of a theme throughout the series. It just seems like there aren't as many multi-episode smaller arcs anymore. It seems like it's the whole season or one episode. But I liked seeing the Marshal made me think of this. The Marshal had a multi-episode arc that wasn't the whole season, and it wasn't just one episode, but it progressed through several episodes, and I just kind of like that.
Almost exactly 20 minutes into the episode, we hear this noise for the first time.
See the trees moving around, you can hear it.
And we're introduced to the weirdness that is the monster.
Terrific.
Boom, you're in commercial break. And I just thought that was awesome. They just give you that slight taste of the supernatural, or something is, not right. I loved it.
That was September 22nd, 2004. It is October 18th, 2009. The show's not coming back until January 2010, and I'm sure the question will not be answered until May of 2010 of what is the monster. I don't know if any answer is going to be able to satisfy me because it's been built up so much since then of what this entity could possibly be. And Rose says that there was something really familiar sounding about it, and then someone asked where she was from, and she said the Bronx.
It feels like to me that Vincent is watching over, I don't know if it's everyone or if it's just Jack.
The whole sequence in the front part of the wreckage just freaked me out. That is still, to this day, one of the scariest sequences. Greg Grunberg, who plays the pilot, had to die in the first episode because he was being punished for a future show he would do called Heroes. I feel like I should get that on the table right now. I do not like Heroes. What a sucky, sucky show. And that's where we're going to leave it off today with Monster eating the pilot.
We'll be back tomorrow with the pilot part 2.
See you then.
We're gonna need to watch that again.